The IDEXX family of Coliform and E.coli tests, Colilert, Colilert 18 and Colisure, can be used with IDEXX's QuantiTray and QuantiTray 2000 products to provide quantitative results. The following steps outline how to use Colilert or Colilert 18 with a QuantiTray. To perform the Colilert and Colilert 18 QuantiTray methods, you will need the following materials: sterile 100 ml vessels, Colilert or Colilert 18 reagent, QuantiTrays, a QuantiTray sealer, one or more QuantiTray rubber inserts, a temperature-controlled incubator, UV protective eyewear, a 6-watt 365 nanometer ultraviolet lamp, Colilert QuantiTray comparator, and a most probable number MPN chart. All of these materials are available through IDEXX. First, collect your water samples as described in standard methods for the examination of water and wastewater, or according to your local regulations. Next, turn on the QuantiTray sealer. The amber colour light will illuminate. Wait approximately 10 minutes for the green ready light to illuminate, indicating that the sealer has come to operating temperature. Place an empty QuantiTray rubber insert on the input shelf of the sealer, with the large cutout facing away from the sealer and the overflow basin facing up. Next, carefully separate one Colilert or Colilert 18 snap pack from its strip, taking care not to accidentally open the other packs. Aim the snap pack down into a 100 ml sample and open it by snapping back the top of the score line. Be careful not to touch the opening of the pack. Cap the vessel and shake it thoroughly to dissolve the reagent powder. The powder must dissolve completely and the foam allowed to subside when using QuantiTrays. Open the bag of 10 QuantiTrays by tearing the labelled end and clip the bag closed to store unused trays. You may label the paper side of the QuantiTrays with a felt tip indelible marker as desired. Do not use a ballpoint pen. Hold the QuantiTray at the very top with the well side facing your palm. Push the very top of the QuantiTray in with your free hand while squeezing the tray into a complete circle. Then relax your hand to form a U. Open the QuantiTray by carefully pulling the foil tab away from the plastic side, being careful not to tear the tab. Avoid touching the inside of the tray. Pour the reagent sample mixture directly into the QuantiTray, avoiding contact with the foil tab. Allow the foam to settle. Place the filled QuantiTray onto the rubber insert, making sure that the tray is properly seated, with each well of the tray in its corresponding hole. Push the rubber insert into the sealer until the motor grabs the insert and begins to draw it through the sealer. Be careful to keep hands, hair and clothing clear of the tray shelf during sealing. In approximately 15 seconds, the sealer will distribute the reagent and sample mixture into the QuantiTray wells, seal the wells, and eject the sealed tray. If at any time you wish to reverse the motor, for example if a misaligned tray is accidentally fed into the sealer, press and hold the reverse button. However, do not reverse the motor once the rubber insert has been drawn fully into the input slot. You may run multiple rubber inserts consecutively in your sealer, allowing you to seal a large number of trays very quickly. Once the QuantiTray is ejected from the sealer, remove it from the rubber insert and incubate the QuantiTray at 35 degrees C, plus or minus 0.5 for 24 hours if you're using Colilert, or 18 hours if you're using Colilert 18. If applicable, incubation temperatures may vary slightly according to your local regulations. Note that you do not need to use a water bath for either test when using QuantiTrays. When incubating QuantiTrays, you may stack trays up to 10 high, but do not place them in a boxed shape, as this restricts airflow in the incubator. Once the test is fully incubated, read the results by comparing samples to a Colilert QuantiTray comparator. If the sample in the well is colourless, or less yellow than the IDEXX comparator, the sample is negative for total coliforms and E. coli. Wells with a yellow colour that is equal to or greater than the comparator are positive for total coliforms. If a well is yellow, look for E. coli by shining an ultraviolet lamp on the sample in a dark environment, staying within 5 inches, 12.5 centimetres of the sample, and shining the light away from your eyes. If the sample fluoresces at an intensity equal to or greater than the comparator, it is positive for E. coli. If there's no fluorescence, or the fluorescence is less than the comparator, the sample is negative for E. coli. Be sure to count all wells that contain any sample, including the large overflow well at the top of the quanti tray, even if they're only partially filled. Once you've counted the number of yellow and fluorescent wells, refer to the quanti tray MPN table provided to find the most probable number of coliforms and E. coli. For example, this quanti tray has 6 yellow wells. Refer to the 6 positive well line on the MPN chart to see that the most probable number is 6.4 total coliforms per 100 millilitres. Since this tray had 5 yellow and fluorescent wells, refer to the 5 positive well line on the MPN chart to see that the most probable number is 5.3 E. coli per 100 millilitre. Be sure to dispose of positive samples according to local regulations.